Okay, this one is crazy. After months of rumors, backstage whispers, and viral onstage chemistry that had fans going wild, Keith Urban has seemed to have confirmed what we all suspected. He's supposedly dating 25-year-old country musician Maggie Baugh. And the timing couldn't be messier, because this comes right after Keith finalized his divorce from Nicole Kidman, ending nearly 20 years of marriage that most people thought would never break. Now, the internet is torn. Some fans say it's beautiful that Keith's found happiness again. Others, they're calling it betrayal, because the timeline of when this all started is looking real suspicious. So how did the man once seen as Nicole Kidman's rock, the one she literally saved from addiction, end up confirming a relationship with someone half his age? We're breaking down the full story, the rumors, the breakup, the confirmation, the backlash, and what Nicole's quiet reaction really means. Let's get into it. It happened at his Nashville show, and nobody saw it coming. Keith's mid-performance, crowds vibing, and suddenly he stops between songs. He smiles and says, "I've been blessed to share my music lately with someone who makes it feel brand new again." And then he gestures to Maggie Baugh. The audience explodes. He hugs her, looks at her for a little too long, and then launches into the fighter. Yeah, the same song he used to sing with Carrie Underwood, the one about loyalty, love, and standing by someone no matter what. And that was it. The internet detonated. Clips went viral overnight. Headlines everywhere read, "Keith Urban confirms romance with young musician Maggie Baugh." After months of playing coy and denying rumors, Keith Urban had just said it without saying it. And the reaction? Brutal. Because, let's be honest, this isn't just some casual dating news. This is a full circle scandal years in the making. Here's where things get messy. That duet with Maggie, it's not new. The two have been performing together since early 2025, months before the world knew Keith and Nicole were separating. At the time, fans noticed how flirty the vibe seemed. The way Keith smiled, the way Maggie looked back, but everyone brushed it off as stage chemistry. Fast forward a few months, and Keith's moving out of the Nashville home he shared with Nicole. The dates line up way too perfectly. Nicole posts a sweet anniversary message in June. Keith doesn't respond publicly. Then suddenly, he's spotted in a new apartment. By July, Maggie's seen at his studio sessions. And by September, Nicole's filing for divorce. Now, I'm not saying there was overlap, but come on. Fans are doing the math. The reason the story hit so hard is because Keith and Nicole weren't just any couple. They were Hollywood royalty. Their love story started back in 2005 at an event celebrating Australian talent in LA. Nicole had just come off her divorce from Tom Cruise. Keith was this rugged, humble country star with charm for days. They got married a year later in a stunning Sydney ceremony. Hugh Jackman sang, Russell Crowe cried. It was storybook stuff. But behind the glamour, things weren't as picture perfect as they seemed. Just 4 months after their wedding, Keith's addiction spiraled out of control. He admitted later, "I'd done nothing about it, and I blew our marriage to smithereens." Nicole didn't walk away. She staged an intervention, checked him into rehab, and waited. She was his anchor. That's why fans are furious right now, because she saved him, and now, nearly 20 years later, he's standing on stage praising another woman. Nicole and Keith's split was finalized quietly. No drama, no public slamming. Official reason? Irreconcilable differences. But court filings revealed they'd actually been separated since June. Nicole got near full custody of their daughters, and both waived spousal support, a clear sign they'd already worked out the money side behind closed doors. Insiders say Nicole believed they were working on things. She thought space might help. Keith, he'd already moved on emotionally. He'd rented his own place in Nashville. He'd been spotted out late with friends from the music industry, Maggie included. So when the confirmation finally dropped, it didn't surprise people close to them. It just confirmed what they'd known for months. If you've never heard of Maggie Baugh before this, that's about to change. Maggie's a 25-year-old rising country star who's been grinding for years. She's insanely talented, plays guitar, fiddle, sings, and writes her own music. She's got that classic Nashville energy, humble, passionate, small-town charm with a modern twist. She's opened for artists like Luke Combs and Kip Moore and built a loyal TikTok fan base. When Keith discovered her, she was already on her way up, but collaborating with a country legend? That's career-changing. Sources say that's how it all began. They started jamming together, writing songs, performing. But as that creative spark turned into chemistry, lines blurred. And the story that started as mentorship slowly turned into something else. When Keith confirmed the relationship, social media went ballistic. Half the comments were people congratulating him. "You deserve happiness, Keith. Love knows no age." The other half, absolutely tearing him apart. "Nicole stood by you when no one else did. Imagine moving on this fast after 19 years. She's young enough to be your daughter, bro." It's brutal. Maggie's socials blew up too. Thousands of comments overnight. Some supportive, others calling her the reason Nicole's crying. To her credit, she hasn't fed the fire. She posted one simple caption: "Music brought us together. The rest will make sense someday." But let's be real, the internet isn't buying that. After that Nashville concert, Keith sat down for a backstage interview where he was asked about the relationship directly. He didn't deny it. He said, "People are going to think what they want. Maggie's been a blessing in my life, and that's all I'll say." He also mentioned she's helped him find joy in music again. That line has haunted fans, because back in 2016, he said the exact same thing about Nicole, that she brought music back into his life after rehab. It's like he's recycling the same love story with a new face. And when people called him out, Keith brushed it off, saying, "I don't live my life for the headlines." Which, okay, fair, but when you've built your entire public image on being the devoted husband, the headlines kinda matter. Nicole hasn't said a word publicly about Keith and Maggie, but if you read between the lines, she's absolutely responded. Right after Keith's announcement, Nicole posted a photo of her morning coffee with a simple caption: "Letting go with love." Fans instantly flooded the comments with support. "Stay strong, Nicole. You handled this with grace." Then a few days later, she was photographed in Sydney, smiling with her daughters. No wedding ring, no sadness, just calm energy. It's that quiet, unbothered confidence that makes fans love her even more. She's not dragging anyone. She's just showing everyone how to heal in public. And honestly, that's the biggest power move of all. People close to the couple have started talking, and the picture that's forming isn't pretty. Apparently, Nicole and Keith had been living separate lives for nearly a year before the divorce. They were still together publicly, but emotionally, done. Nicole's career was on fire, filming Practical Magic 2 in London, producing new projects, and focusing on their daughters. Keith, meanwhile, was deep in his High-End Alive world tour, performing in 40 cities, spending months away. At some point, the distance became more than just physical. They stopped talking about the future. And when Maggie entered the picture, young, vibrant, full of energy, it reminded Keith of what he used to feel. Some call it chemistry, others call it midlife crisis, but either way, it was the final nail in the coffin. Behind the scenes, Nashville is split right down the middle. Older country artists are siding with Nicole, calling her the heart of that marriage and saying Keith owes her everything. Younger artists, meanwhile, are calling the relationship inspiring. They say Keith and Maggie are proof that love can be found anywhere. But industry insiders are whispering that Keith's move might backfire. A few promoters have reportedly pulled back on booking him for family-oriented events, worried about the optics. And fans at recent shows have even booed when Maggie's name gets mentioned, something that's never happened in Keith's career before. Then there's the elephant in the room, the age gap. Keith is 57, Maggie's 25. That's a 32-year difference. Now, age gaps in Hollywood aren't new, but this one feels different because of how it started. Maggie looked up to Keith. He was a mentor figure, someone she admired since she was a kid. That's where fans are uncomfortable. They're asking, was this a mentor turned romance situation? Keith insists it's mutual respect and shared passion for music. But no matter how you spin it, the power dynamic is real, and it's raising a lot of eyebrows. If there's one thing Keith knows how to do, it's use music to tell a story. Just weeks before confirming his relationship, he released a song called Back to Bright. Fans noticed lyrics like, "You pulled me out of the dark, made me feel 20 again." 20 again. Sound familiar? Fans are convinced it's about Maggie. He hasn't denied it either, which kind of confirms it without saying it. And honestly, that's Keith's whole vibe right now. Say everything through music, deny nothing, and let fans connect the dots. The real heartbreak in all this is how fast everything unraveled. Nicole's friends say she's still processing it, that she feels blindsided. Not because Keith moved on, but because he did it so publicly. To her, it's not about age or fame. It's about respect. After standing by him through rehab, fame, and every scandal, she probably deserved a softer ending, not a headline. Meanwhile, Keith's acting like a man reborn, smiling in interviews, dropping new music, saying he's finally in a good place. And sure, maybe he is, but to fans who've watched this love story for 2 decades, it feels like the final chapter came with no warning. Right now, Keith and Maggie are keeping things low-key. They're reportedly working on new music together, and Maggie's expected to join him for select tour dates later this year. Nicole, on the other hand, is moving forward with her projects, and insiders say she's focusing on healing and family, not revenge. Some fans think she'll eventually open up about it in an interview. Others think she never will. Either way, both of them are clearly entering completely different phases of life. The story hits different because it's not just celebrity drama. It's real human stuff. It's about growing apart, craving excitement, feeling unseen, and chasing something new, even when it means breaking what once felt unbreakable. Keith Urban may have found new love with Maggie Baugh, but what he lost in Nicole Kidman, that's a chapter he can never recreate. And maybe that's the tragedy of it all, because sometimes the people who save you from your demons aren't meant to stay with you forever. They're just meant to get you back on your feet. Anyway, This concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.